I have a question for you. What is your swag? I mean, do you in fact have any swag? I ask this when I'm doing my keynotes, and especially if I'm speaking to like a largely middle class audience, the reaction is usually swag. No, I don't think Samantha, do you have any swag? It's just this confusion. But swag stands for Seriously Wild Audacious Goal. Seriously Wild Audacious Goal. What's yours? And here's why you need to have one. Because we kind of live in a bubble, don't we? We limit ourselves to what we believe is possible, and you only achieve the success that you believe you deserve. So we put this ring fence around saying, well, this is possible for me and this is impossible for me. On the other side of the fence, impossible. And we limit our thinking to what's possible. But actually what I'm asking you to do is engage in some magic wand thinking. It's like there is more than you know available to you. There are more resources than you know. There's more mindsets, more thinking, more agency than you know, because we tend to think small. So what would happen if you fixed your sights on a bit of swag, on something that seemed completely out of your reach? This is what a friend of mine called Dave McPartlin did just before Christmas. He's the head teacher of Fleet Primary near Blackpool. And during an assembly, one of the girls, a year 6 girl, Lauren, put her hand up and said, oh yeah, I want to be a pop star when I grow up. And Dave went back to the staff room and just started saying to his teachers and TAs, what would it look like if we could do, I mean, could we actually engineer that for Lauren? Could we put her in a position where, how could we, well, it's nearly Christmas. We could go for Christmas #1. Now, that's crazy, isn't it? That's bonkers. It's like, how does a school in Blackpool go for Christmas? That's not going to happen. And yet that's what they did. They extended their bubble and went for this. And amazing things started to happen. They were given a free coach to get down for 2 weeks back and forth to London. They doorstepped Chris Evans. They were on ITV. I mean, they did all this amazing stuff. And the kids got to go and it was incredible. They got to number 63. And I was in Dave's school in January and I met Lauren. And I said, hey, you were aiming for #1 and you got to number 63. You're disappointed. And she looked at me like I was straight up bonkers. She's like, disappointed. No, so I went to London. I saw Theresa May. I got to meet Chris Evans. I was on Radio 2. And like, how could I be disappointed? And I thought, I just got schooled by a 10-year-old here. Because if we want anything for our young people, anything, it's that. It's the ability to reframe. It's the ability to look into something and go, right, well, this is the good stuff. And now here's what I'm going to do next time. I mean, the earth belongs to those who are agile, not those who know a lot, not those who can do a lot, but those who can adapt. And I'm looking at a leader of the future when I look at Lauren. Last night, Dave, when I last chatted to Dave, we were supposed to be meeting up and he said, oh, I've got to go because we're thinking about going on Britain's Got Talent. I've got ITV. I'm like, fantastic, new swag, go for it. So last night, Fleet Primary School were the first act to get a golden buzzer on Britain's Got Talent. And there was this, it was just this chaotic like celebration of joy and love and excitement. And it's everything as a parent that I want my kids to experience at least once in their lifetime. And at the end, it was really emotional, you know, and just this crazy kind of nativity film, like the nativity film. It's like a real live nativity film. At the end, everyone's crying, Dave's crying, the kids are crying, the audience is crying, David Walliams is crying, and there's one girl on the front row just with the biggest smile on her face, waving, waving at Alicia Dixon, like, I'm on Britain's Got Talent. And I love that. I just love, I mean, what an amazing experience to create. And it only happened because they started going for something which is impossible. So what is your swag? And if you don't have one, then please get one. And don't talk about getting a promotion or an hour to finish your paperwork. That's not swag. Something hugely impossible. Because when you start asking the questions of what would it look like if, that's when the magic happens.